Hello and welcome back to CSC151. Let me actually change the name here because this is actually the While Loops video lecture here. So, last video I went over and said, well, how do we keep something going over and over and over again, in case they keep entering their password incorrectly and keep giving them attempts to try again? Well, that's what we would call a loop, a section of code that repeats itself until a condition is met. Once the condition is met, the loop will stop. And I will show you this with an example I like to call the Toddler Simulator. So, equal answer, none. So right now, answer is nothing. There is no answer. So I'll, print out something that says, welcome to the Toddler Simulator. Those of you that have the Practice Python Coding book that I recommended in the syllabus will probably know what the Toddler Simulator is if they look through it. But I have this here. Now, none is not the same as 0. 0 is data. You can type a 0. You can add 0, multiply by 0. 0 has a function, a worth. None is nothing, okay? So right now, I have a box that's open in my code where I saved something, but there's currently nothing in it, okay? So, but if I say while, okay, this is what's a while loop. So while my answer does not equal because I said so. So while I do not say because I said so, answer, and I'm going to make it a input. And the input is going to be a question. Why? Okay? So that's quite simple. It's just going to ask why. So while I do not say because I said so, it's going to keep saying why over and over again. And I'll show this to you. Execute. Over to Toddler Simulator. Why? Why what? And it's going to go and say, why? Ask your mom. Why? I don't know. Why? Because I said so. And then, because I typed in, because I said so, the code ended and executed. Okay? So that's really all there is to that. It will keep going, and keep going, and keep going. It'll get to the end of the loop, and then it'll go back to the start of the loop, and go, has the condition been met yet? Nope, the condition has not been met. Therefore, let's do the loop again. And said, okay, and it kept going until I said, because I said so. And now let's just do the same thing, but this time, let's do it with numbers. And I'll say, and, whoops. Let's do a new line here. And now for some counting. So before we just did this with, numbers, let's do it with integers. So I'm going to make a counter, and that counter is going to equal 0. Once again, 0 is not the same thing as none. 0 is actual data. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do while loop. So I start the loop with while, and I say while counter is less than 10. Let's just say less than 10. Colon, because it's much like an if statement, I need to use the colon, and it'll have those little drop-down menus to showcase what belongs inside of it. So I'll just simply print. I'll print my counter. So while it is less than 10, I will print the counter. I bet you there's an error here. It's not that it's not going to work. It will work, but it's never going to stop. Can you tell me why? Well, tell me. This counter is at 0. While 0 is less than 10, print the counter. And then it's going to go back to the top of the loop. Print the counter. Then it's going to go back to the top of the loop. 0 will always be less than 10. And I'll even execute this and show you. First things first, I'll say the because I said so. And now for some counting, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And you'll notice this keeps going all the way down, 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 until we reach this part right here, scrolling up, that says output limit reached. It eventually kept going on for so long the computer just gave up and said, nope, too much. That's what's known as an infinite loop. We do not want an infinite loop. So what we're going to do is, every single time this loop happens, we're going to do a counter plus equals 1. What does plus equal 1 mean? What that means is counter is equal to counter plus 1. So we have ourselves itself plus 1. That's what the plus equals means. If you were to do a minus equal, it would be itself minus 1. If you were, that sort of situation. So now it's going to get to the bottom and go, oh, now it's going to be 1. And then 1 is less than 10. It'll get down here, print it out, and then go, oh, now it's 2. Go back to the top. 2 is less than 10. It will be less than 10, but eventually it won't. So when I execute this, I go and say, well, because I said so. And then it'll go for some counting. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it stopped itself. It stopped itself right there at the end, and it did not go on for infinity. And that's just an example of a while loop using numbers and a while loop using a string. Okay? And that's all we're doing for this assignment. So when you get something that looks like this, send it in through Canvas, submit it, save it, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you in the next video where we're going to switch this over to for loops.